Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nails and Beauty Talk. I am your host, Asia the Bird. To have a very special guest with me today. She is a nail artist and entrepreneur. She is the owner of Mad Nails. Please welcome Morgan Dixon. Hello, Morgan, and welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. Really excited.
You are most welcome. So, I don't know why I did that, but but it's nice to have you. It's very lovely to have you. So, I definitely want to go ahead and ask, like, where are you from, and tell us a little about your upbringing.
Well, I'm from a little bit all over. My dad was in the Navy, so we kind of hopped around a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We basically went to, I don't know, I lived overseas in Italy.
Mm-hmm.
We moved to Florida after that. My parents are New Yorkers, so, um, got a lot of New
Right.
York in me too. And I've been in New Orleans though for about 8, 9 years now. Um,
Okay.
so here we're at. Here we are.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. How was it in New Orleans? I've never been there before.
It's fun. There's always something going on. We just got through Mardi Gras,
Oh,
so
cool.
literally, a lot of people have the holiday season, and then they kind of have random things here and there. But we have it from October till about May, June, July is when, there's always something going on. So it's fun. You'll always have something to do. For the people here, it's like
Mhm.
a little exhausting, especially in the service industry, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's really, really amazing. But I
Mhm.
definitely want to go ahead and ask, like, what's like your fondest memories of like beauty growing up, possibly? Like, were anybody in your family into beauty at all?
So my mom, it's funny because when people ask me like just about my nail journey,
Right.
such distinct memories of just like my mom always getting her nails done. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and getting her hair done. But I remember asking my mom if she would give me some money to go get my nails done, and she was like, "No, you need."
Right.
So I got like my first job when I was 14, just so I can go get my nails done.
Mhm.
I've also been always really creative and great with my hands. So when I was 10, actually, I just used to watch my mom, braiding my sister's hair, and I just
Mhm.
would sit across the room and just watch her, and then one day, like with a Barbie styling head, I like cut some hair off of another doll, started to learn how to like braid hair basically. So when I showed my mom or told her, that I knew how to braid, she's like, okay, well, on Sundays you're gonna be braiding Sydney's hair now. So I don't know, I just feel like the beauty industry has always been something that's been really close to my heart because it's just something
Mhm.
like I've always excelled in some kind of way. Like I was
Right.
able to be hands on with something with this creative spirit I had in me, So
Mhm.
yeah,
Mhm.
my mom definitely influenced me.
Mm. I definitely want to go ahead within, what you were studying. You studied art history and international relations. So
Hmm.
where'd you go to school to study to major in those two things? Like where'd you go to school for those specific subjects?
I went to the University of North Florida in Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, Yeah, I graduated high school in 2009. I didn't really rush through college. Still feel like I have a lot of it to go because I really want to continue like with my master's and
Right.
really continue a lot of education. But yeah, I went to college at UNF.
Mm-hmm. Mm, cool, cool. Now, what drew your interest in regards to just being a nail artist? Like, was there anybody that really inspired you in the nail industry to get into nails?
No, again, what who I would say is when I was in college, I had a lot
Hmm.
of jobs at like restaurants. I was a bartender at a strip club one time. Like I was like
Mm,
service industry. Retail just wasn't my thing. I used to just get bored in retail. Like I always thought I wanted to do
hmm.
him, but then just was like, that's just not for me. I don't want to sell somebody anything. And
Right.
clothes all day. So just being in, a server in restaurants just seemed like the easiest job to have at the time. But again, with that, me learning how to, do hair, like at the ends of high school, I started to kind of like play around and do people's hair for like sew-ins for $45.
Mm,
And then when I went to college, I started doing hair out of my dorm, and I started getting
Mm.
really good at it, actually, where a lot of people were getting familiar with me for doing hair in Jacksonville. I started having people come, like I said, to my house, my dorm. I used to drive to people's house, just to do their hair. And after a while, I was like, you know what? I really am tired of worrying about, getting in trouble with my.
Right.
And so I decided to go to cosmetology school. While I was in that early stages of cosmetology school, something came over me and was like, you know what? I don't want cosmetology school for a whole year. Like, I can't afford just to go to cosmetology school. So while I
Right.
was signing up, actually, the nail instructor, Vanessa, who I'll never forget,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it was, but she just like took me to the side and was like, I think it'd be smarter if you did nails. Like, you can make way more money with nails. Like, you're going to have way more repeat clients. Just in a like, I don't know, in a shorter time frame. Like, people will come back every 2 weeks versus every so often. You know what I mean? So, excuse me, it kind of made sense that I got my nail license. So I got my nail license because honestly, I also was like, okay, well, I still want to do hair. And maybe I'll just like get my nail license to where I can work at a salon. I just thought I'd focus on nails. Like, something just told me to just like work with this. Like, I just kind I've always kind of had like this hustler spirit to just know I kind of need to invest time and just my focus on something. So something in me was just like, let's just do this and see how it goes, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I just haven't stopped doing it since then. I got my nail license in 2012, and yeah, here we are.
Cool. That's really, really cool. But I definitely want to get into just in regards to like, your top five favorite nail artists. So like who would
Oh,
you consider to be like your favorite like nail artist? If you had a top five in particular.
wow. Gosh, I feel like the nail industry has become so saturated in the
Mm,
last few years. Some people that kind of really have stood out to me as being people who, like, again, me having such an art background and really appreciating
mm,
like more of like, I don't know, art is art, so it doesn't matter which
right.
form or style it is. But
Mm-hmm.
like croquet, and there's an
Mm-hmm.
artist these days. She's in Texas. It's like Two Good Hands. I saw she did nails for damn. I feel like I'm getting so old. I don't even know who people are anymore. Too. That he's an artist. This guy who was with Megan, not Megan Good. What's the other Megan? um,
Megan Thee Stallion.
Not that Megan Fox. The guy
Oh, Megan Fox.
engaged to him, but he went to this nail artist, and she's in Texas, and she does just such like, I don't even know the art style, but I just think seeing like more of this realism kind of
Mm-hmm.
in nails is really interesting. Like, people always compliment nail artists on how do you do that on such a tiny canvas, but for people to do like such realism and just like, bodies and forms and things like that. And I really do feel
Right.
in the US, croquet was one of like the first that I saw that I was so impressed with. You know,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of other artists who have, you know, been doing nails since she kind of started again a few years ago. But I would definitely say artists like that, their style is really amazing. I really love Asa
Yeah, Asabri.
Asabri. I love her techniques with layers. Who else? It's just so difficult because again, there's so many greats out there nowadays, and it's like so hard to like really just remember anybody's name nowadays. Unfortunately, I feel like it was such a smaller community literally 5 years ago, and now all of a sudden it's hard to keep up. But I love seeing people play with textures. You could tell there's a lot of like time and detail that goes into it, and I appreciate that. I feel like, me working in my salon nowadays, like I'm kind
Right.
of crunched for time, and like there's a difference between working on clients on a daily basis and really being
Hmm.
able to sit there and not have to look at the clock and the work that you can really get done, which is
Hmm.
amazing. So yeah, two good hands. I really, really, really love and respect their work.
Hmm. Yeah, they're absolutely talented. Another one, her name is ikatie.ru. She does very cool work. Same thing with
I have to
Alice
up,
McNails.
look them up. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It's iKatie. Alice McNails is another one. She's a really great nail artist.
I, that isn't. She's in the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I love her work too.
But also to another nail artist I really like. Her name is Jan Paints Nails, and she's also from the UK. She does really cool nail art.
There's a lot of great, and that's like I said, it's like so hard to keep up with like who is out there because it's the industry is just blown up. Like when I first
Yeah.
started nails, like there were some random people here and there, but it wasn't like the scale we obviously see today, which is so beautiful. And I
Right.
mean, see like how many people probably never thought they were artists. You know what I mean? Like someone I work with, Nail Dot Full. She's been
Mhm.
working next to me for the last like 4 years, and
Mhm.
we talk about it. And when clients are asking us, "How did you get into this?" Just hearing too how like she didn't
Mhm.
even realize that she had this art ability in her, but it's just amazing how it brings that out of people. Who maybe
Mhm.
never knew that they had that in them, which is interesting. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, right, exactly. Also, you got Nails by Dev, you have
yeah,
you
killing it.
know,
Yeah.
what's her name? Maddox, Ball Pit Nails, Tim Nail Studio. They're
There's
really cool.
also dang, like I said, there's another like artist. She worked, I think, at um Pamper and like nail salon. Uh
Viv Shu?
who?
Viv Shu?
Yes, yes, yes. Her work's amazing as well. Like again, just the detail, and you could tell like the time that goes into it, which like I said, I really respect these days because
Mhm.
when I did work on claws, I had a little bit more time to kind of put some sets together. But
Mhm.
on such time crunches, and again, for you to have the ability to not have those time crunches makes such a huge difference, like
Mhm.
with your work. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I definitely want to switch gears and talk about the nail scene in New Orleans. How big is the nail scene in New Orleans? Is it big down there or is it small? Like how would you describe it?
It's definitely gotten much bigger, I think, since I've been here. Before I was here, I know that there probably were like more of just like nail techs in the area, and
Mhm.
nail techs who probably just did like more of an acrylic style of art, like nothing too
Right.
conceptual. If I'm being honest, like there really wasn't anybody before I got here who did more of like this conceptual work, which I think is
Mhm.
honestly a huge reason why I did so well once I got here because there really wasn't a nail industry here. Like there's another nail artist, ASAP Nails, but I feel like
Mhm.
more of her specialty is her acrylic shaping and just like her acrylic work, which is again art in itself. You're sculpting nails.
Mhm.
To like the nail art, there really wasn't anyone here. Like there was Beatty, who to me she was the one and only. Like I
Right.
don't think there were any other nail artists here. Beatty's style and mine are very different, but again, much appreciated. But before that, I don't believe there was anybody but her. I think since I've been here, I've noticed like the industry's blown up. It's just with New Orleans. New Orleans is really behind. It's
Mhm.
fun. Like you think like I was talking to a client one time about how people here are costuming so much, so it's something that they've always felt like they could do it on their own until like
Mhm.
they see a professional doing it in just this totally
Mhm.
different way, which people here love. They're always celebrating something, so it's like no matter what, you're gonna always stay busy during the seasons. And it's such a tight community too, so people will continue to support you, especially if you build that relationship with them. But
Mhm.
not again with it being such a small community. There's only so much of a community you can reach out to. The film
Mhm.
industry has really been very popular here too, which I've
Mhm.
been very fortunate to be a part of. With the name I've made for myself, I've been a part of a lot of productions and a lot of projects that have gone on here. So that's also been really fun to play with. It's not New York and LA, but it's definitely like one of the top contenders of just like film cities in the country. So that's also been a
Mhm.
part of the equation here, I'd say, in the last few years, which has been fun.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really, really cool. I definitely want to go ahead and really talk about your nail salon called Mad Nails. Why is it called Mad Nails? And tell us about like the journey behind having your own nail salon.
So Mad Nails is my brand. I, started off as an independent artist, and after doing claws, or like after a while on claws, like realizing that I can only do so many people at one time, then I just needed to expand and be able to provide a space that other nail techs and aspiring nail artists can also come work at and also have like their hands and opportunities that were coming my way. So I
Mhm.
picked up Mad Nail Salon under my brand.
Mhm.
Um, was in the like downtown area in the CBD,
Right.
uh, and in the French Quarter for a little while, and then
Mhm.
last year, I expanded to a more full service salon, which is Lab and
Mhm.
Lounge Concept Salon. That's the
Right.
salon name, where it's myself and seven other nail artists, and also hairstylists and wax specialists and facial, estheticians and
Right.
brows and lashes and all that. Because I now want to really be able to create again an environment that I saw that we created with Mad Nail Salon, which
Mhm.
is really just this laid back environment that people can come, get their nails done, have a drink, just be in a community space, but why not expand that to where we can make it a one-stop shop,
Right.
like people don't have time these days, so the idea of being able to like go get your nails done and maybe get a silk press and then maybe get your lashes done all in one go, and
Right.
having to book three different things, three different places, three different times a week. Like it just made a little bit more sense too to kind of just
Mhm.
provide more to my clientele and our clientele. So that's
Mhm.
where we're at with that. Like Mad Nails is still, it's me. I kind of wanted to also separate my brand from this larger salon structure because that's the thing is like I was having kind of a little bit of a problem with
Mhm.
people coming to the salon and requesting my services, but being booked with someone else, and it kind of like being a little bit of a confusion to some new clients. You know what I mean? So it's like I'm in transition still of trying to
Mhm.
understand how to also have these two entities and people get what that means. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, that's really, really cool. But I definitely want to get into because I what I like about you is that not only you have your nail salon, your nail business called Mad Nails, you also have another salon called Lab and Lounge, a concept salon. So why is it called, Lab and Lounge? Like what was like the whole process behind, coming up with that other salon?
To me, lab and lab just means like for the artists there, we're like in the lab getting work done, and to the people coming in,
Mhm.
and I always emphasize it's a concept salon because I just love the idea of it not being a traditional salon. It's just
Right.
the concept. Like it to me, it's like I don't want to say a brothel, but like uh really not what it is. It's
Right,
just
right.
like a lounge, like where
Yeah.
dudes would go back in the day and just go smoke their cigars and have their cavassier, whatever. Their
Right.
like it's like a space that like it's predominantly women that come in. We have a lot of a lot of gender nonconforming folks come in who are just
Mhm.
to relax, have a drink, kick their
Mhm.
feet up. We have services for moms to come and bring the baby. If you want to take a nap, we'll get you a pillow, get you situated so you can relax. We have, it's just a safe space though that people can come and kind of escape from the outside world.
But I definitely want to get into just in regards to editorial. So you did mention earlier in the interview that you did nails for Claws. You were the lead nail artist for Claws,
Yeah.
which used to be on TNT. And
Hmm.
I definitely want to really ask, like, how did that opportunity like come about, and what was the experience like doing nails for that TV show?
Um, all right. So Claus was definitely a very amazing opportunity. It was a very unprecedented opportunity because there's never been a nail industry. I mean, a nail department in the film industry. So
Right.
very unprecedented, which I think is something that again, nail techs, nail artists really need to be careful about us really holding it down for the nail industry as a whole because we've
Hmm.
always been the misfits of the industry. Um,
Hmm.
so that opportunity came about. I had just had my daughter, Zoelle, and I was a new mom. And I was someone, or before I had her, I saw that this show was going to be filming in the city. Um,
Hmm.
Beatty actually was the first nail artist to work on the show. She worked on the pilot
Mm.
of the show.
Wow.
I was reached out to from production because Lauren, who was basically the first nail department head um, of the show, she
Hmm.
didn't do nails, but she was familiar with the film industry and the person like organizing everything. She reached out to me and was like saying that she just went on Facebook and asked the local community,
Hmm.
"Hey, I'm looking for a nail artist. Does anybody see
Hmm.
anybody?" And she said she just got this huge response from so many people referring me um, to her for the opportunity. Um, I let them know that I just had a baby and I could not commit to that full time, film industry schedule. But they asked me to come on part time, which I did. So unfortunately, Beatty didn't continue when the series picked up. And they had the editorial nail come in to
Hmm.
because they just needed again a different style of art. Like they needed something that could be a little bit more like a quicker turnaround because again, since it was so unprecedented, like there were a lot of
Hmm.
things that needed to be ironed out on how to make a service that really does take more than an hour, to do per service, but get it done just very quickly for like again the turnarounds that they required. So
Hmm.
Gracie, the editorial nail, was asked to come in and she was kind of the lead in that first season to really like she was just like that nail the full-time nail artist on deck. They had
Hmm.
a whole bunch of other nail artists send in their work and kind of like do um each episode basically. So Christy, nailed by Christy,
Hmm.
I haven't seen her on Instagram lately, but like she did a lot of sets for Claus in that first season. Gracie did some. We just had a ton of nail artists who like sent in their work to work on it. Towards the end of the season, I started picking up a lot more days because they just required a lot more hands on deck. And
Hmm.
towards the end of the season, Nisi took a huge liking to me because she was like, again, looking for just more cuticle work and someone who can kind of give her a little bit more care when it came to like her manicures.
Right.
So she asked me to be her personal nail artist, because again, that
Wow.
job was very demanding. Well, she wanted me to be personal nail tech. So from there,
Hmm.
um, I was asked if I would come back the next season and basically just be the nail tech, like more of the nail tech and artist. Because at that time, once the season kind of was going on in that first season, I was able to, have more time. I was getting my flow and everything. So they asked me to come back and be the lead at that point. So I was, the go-to for making sure that the ladies were serviced, like,
Hmm.
special requests, because also that first season, it was kind of weird and random. I don't know if, like the first scene of the first season. It's weird because what they were requesting in terms of the art, it just didn't make sense. Like they were trying to be too
Mhm.
consensual to what was going on, but it's like
Mhm.
the nails don't need to be telling the story of the story. The story. Like
Right.
it's the story
Mhm.
telling the story, and let the art kind of just be talking for itself. Talk about
Right.
truth and like these characters and what do they like. So I was able to be a little bit more hands on with
Mhm.
having relationships with the cast to know,
Mhm.
what do you want? Like, what would you think that your character would like, and kind of bringing
Right.
their ideas to life so that they love their nails more. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And love them. It's just that, again, very unprecedented. There was a lot we were learning as the process was going on, and there was no time to actually figure all that out. It was just
Mm.
going with the flow. So come season
Right.
2, I was doing all that, and then I started making the nails. We still had nail artists sending things in, but again,
Mhm.
unfortunately, it just becomes a conflict of interest when things are sent in. They might not be the sizes, they might not be what the cast want to wear, and it's like coming down to me having to make a whole bunch of nails just to please the cast and
Right.
the writers if they had looks on things. So it was just easier to kind of have somebody more in-house creating looks. So
Mhm.
season 2, 3, 4, I was creating the looks, like,
Wow.
yeah, which was
Wow.
such
That's a
a,
lot.
because it's like the cast, which you also need to make 2 backups of each set of nails that are made. You have to make nails for different scenes, for different events going on, different for flashbacks that might be happening. You need to make nails for the background. You need to make nails for these other characters, and you always need to have 3 sets of nails just in case something flies off. If they have a stunt double, you have to make nails for their stunt double plus
Wow.
some, because if a scene's going on where they're fighting, they're losing nails left and right. And we were just using sticky tape. We weren't like gluing them onto people because we also, I didn't want to damage people's nails either. I was really big on trying to make sure that their nails were good. You know,
Mhm.
figured out that like doing a gel manicure was best because
Mm.
sticky tape just sticks to the gel way better than it does the natural nail. So
Mhm.
it was definitely an experience. I learned so much in it and just became who I am today because of
Mhm.
it. I just learned so much about business. I had to really start standing up to for what was right for us, for nail artists, like, because we were really underpaid also, because
Mm.
we were so underpaid. And unfortunately it wasn't until that 4th season where I even got way more comfortable and confident in just charging my worth for what I was
Mhm.
into the show. Like everybody, even the cast, were like, the nail
Mhm.
are the show, so they should be getting paid like it,
Right.
but I didn't know that. I didn't have any mentors explaining that, to me. So it was just me, again, in that experience, advocating for all nail artists, because I also knew too, like, if I'm undercharging myself, that means they're going to just keep undercharging us all as a whole. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I was really proud of that learning process and the experience of charging my worth and not apologizing for it, and charging the worth
Mhm.
of everybody who was working with me, and you know, just being a huge advocate for the community as a whole. So it was
Mhm.
again, like I said, the creative aspect was